Over the last 2 weeks, we have talked about the Democratic and Republican presidential nominees, the Hollywood names that support them, but what about the makeup artists that keep them looking fresh and flawless? Joining us this morning is celebrity makeup artist Kim Lee, obviously wonderful friend to Good Day DC. She was actually at the Democratic National Convention in Philly, and you were doing several different celebs while you were there. And you were just kind of sounding off a little bit because in some of the blogs, you said the celebs were taking a hit for not being super fashionable.
Absolutely, and I thought it was very unfortunate because many of them are not making ripples in water, they're making waves in the ocean because they have a huge voice and they're doing something about their voice. So if you have a platform and you have a voice, so many of them have lots of things that they're concerned about. Like I worked with Shonda Rhimes this week and she was absolutely lovely, but her voice is about cyberbullying, about things that really affect children. She has small children. Working with Angela Bassett, she has a huge, huge, huge love and passion for those victims who were killed in South Carolina. And so there are a lot of celebrities that are doing things on the move at DNC, and they weren't concerned about clothing and fashion. They were looking great, but they were very, you know, very simple.
It wasn't their primary focus. Which is interesting. You sent us some pictures of people that you worked with at the convention. And so, yet at the same time, they are expected to look put together. So when as we go through the pictures and you're coming up with the looks for the celebs at an event like this, okay, this is pretty natural.
Yeah, I didn't do this look, but she was very, 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 Susan Sarandon, she was very just simple at the DNC. As you can see, just a simple white shirt, simple lips, not a whole lot of makeup. Hair, obviously, you know. Right. I would have done a little more, but I definitely
she not gonna emphasize that she didn't do Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, she did not do Susan Sarandon. No, I did not.
You did do Angela Bassett,
I did do Angela Bassett. Okay. Angela Bassett had on a beautiful dress. It was a beautiful blue dress, very similar to that of our First Lady on Tuesday. And so her address was to the victims again, who were in South Carolina. South Carolina, yes.
And so this was obviously about being polished. I mean, I think she actually looks stunning.
Oh, she looks absolutely beautiful. Again, her jewelry was very simple, and that was what it was all about. Just really the simplicity of that, so that her voice could be a lot larger than those things that tend to be more important.
Shonda Rhimes is the picture that's going to come up next, and as you are as a makeup artist, as you are working with someone, is it hard to be understated? Or does it take as much work to be natural and classic as it does to do glamour makeup?
It's just as much work because you're still working against lighting, and so lighting is very important. And it's important that you are making sure that they are contoured still and that you can see the eyes, because sometimes they're very far away on camera, and that you can see, you know, all of the shapes in the imagery of their face. And so, yeah, she has such beautiful features, and she's so lovely. And, you know, she did the opening video for our presidential candidate. So I'm just excited about all that she had to say, you know, and how she looked. She looked beautiful. She looked absolutely beautiful. We did a pop of red with this black Oscar de la Renta gown. And so she looked great all week long.
Well, you know, and another thing that you do have to think of is the whole HD, high def, you know, the cameras that they're using. I mean, they're going to see everything. So while you want it to look like they look like an everyday person, they still need to look flawless.
Absolutely. And I was also able to talk with my client, Phaedra Parks, who is from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She looked incredible that whole week, too. And she did a little bit more makeup, but it was very, very lovely because she's a Southern belle, you know, and so she did the full Housewives look, and it didn't go against the grain. It was definitely Phaedra, so she looked amazing, and I love her platform. You know, she's doing her whole thing with children in the state of Georgia, and so she wants to make sure that emphasis is on boys, because our boys definitely need to have that backing. And so, you know, she has 2 beautiful sons, and so I loved her whole platform. So I really got into the platforms of the artists and not so much into their looks, but I enjoyed what they had to say because they had a voice there, and I felt that it was just so important.
Well, you know, the thing is that you didn't want their looks to be distracting. But so they couldn't be, obviously they needed to be put together, but they couldn't be too glamorous either, because you didn't want all the focus to be on how beautiful they were. You wanted it to be on what beautiful things they were saying.
Absolutely.
Kim, it's always great to see you.
It's wonderful being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your voice.
Thank you. So you got to make sure when you wink and pout and vote, wink and pout and vote. So
wink and pout and vote.
I like it.
There you go.
Pout and vote.
That's
right.
We should make buttons.
Love it.
We should definitely make buttons.
Wink, pout,
Thanks, guys. Okay, next up, we're talking the Teen Choice Awards and fashion. Fab or Fail. Paul Wharton joining us to all about the looks. Back after this.
rushing on.
Believe it or not, it is that time of year again. Summer's over for thousands of students all across the DMV. We've been sharing pictures from the first day back all morning long, and we've seen the range of styles that you can rock for back to school. But we all know picking those clothes and hairstyles, it can get a little exhausting every morning. This morning, we recruited some help to show you some simple looks that could save you time and maybe perhaps more importantly headaches. Here with the back to school style every mom can nail at home. Amanda and Jeff Enriquez with Style Me Bar. So good morning to both of you. Thanks for coming in.
It's nice to see
All right,
you.
so finding looks that mom and daughter can agree on.
Absolutely.
You might be able to solve world peace if you can do that as well.
Well, first and foremost, it's mostly important to prep the night before. I mean,
Really?
absolutely. Yes, you know, like make sure your hair is washed, conditioned, so that in the morning it saves you some time.
Really? Because I'm a shower in the mororning type of girl.
Well, you can still get in the shower in the morning, but have the hair washed and ready to go so that in the morning all you have to do is touch it up.
So let's talk about the different looks. You did the hair and you did the makeup, and what we're kind of going for here.
So this is Izzy, and Izzy is a lacrosse player, sporty, and obviously it's still hot out, and it's going to be hot through September. So her hair in a ponytail, and you know, these top knots are still in, so if it's still too hot, you can just take that ponytail, twist it like so, and sometimes you can tuck it into the rubber band, or you can just take that pin and pin it. And there you go. You got a nice little top bun. It doesn't have to be neat because that's really not the style to have it neat. And
Yeah.
there she is.
So this is our little sporty spice.
Yes, it is.
Here she is. So, all right, let's talk about the makeup then.
Absolutely. Again, it's 10 years old. We're going to keep everything light and fresh, very 80s. So we used a light tinted skin just to even her out. Still see her freckles, still see her skin, still sheen. We gave her a little waterproof blush, a liquid blush from Stila on her cheeks and lips. Full duty. Nothing much on the really simple.
Because she's going in, so you need to add but also I think this is the time when we need to make sure we're teaching our young girls to really take care of their skin.
Exactly. It's all care at this point.
So what are in terms of that?
I use it very big because it's oil-free, skin, it hydrates, modifies air, oils for sports.
All right. She is a take on feel. All right, up next, what do we have?
This is Sophia. Sophia is going to be a junior this year, and obviously she's got beautiful hair. So back to the prepping the night before. She has got a ton of hair. So I absolutely recommend, you know, showering the night before, just shampooing your hair the night before, curling it. And if you twist your hair up, I tell everybody this, and sleep on it like this, pull the clip out, and look, we've got some beautiful curls here.
Gosh, stop it. Look at that.
Yes, and she is a cheerleader, so she is ready for school. She is one of our, you know, she's got this beautiful hair, and the curls are there. And you
Is
can
this
just
what you're
touch them.
calling the girl look?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
All right, Jeff, how are we looking on the front here?
So, makeup-wise, Sophia's 15, beautiful. I gave her a foundation with SPF. It's a medium coverage. It's waterproof as well, so it's great for her being active. Very light on the eyes. I used a paint pot from MAC. It's a waterproof eyeshadow and cream base. Mascara, top and bottom, blush, and a nice lip. Use a gloss.
What do you find for young girls the biggest mistake they make with makeup?
Overdoing it and too much liner.
Yeah.
Too much liner. The raccoon liner, Yeah.
Okay, girls, that's not your mom saying it. That's a professional saying it, right? So we can listen to that. All right, I want to make sure we get our third look in.
This is Zenobia, and she is, you know, wants the hair off her face. This is her natural texture, and I mean, obviously her hair is beautiful. And we just put, you know, to keep it off her face, we just did a really nice braid back here.
That's a gorgeous braid. Now, is that something she can do herself? Or?
You know what? With all the YouTube videos now, there's so much you can do yourself. And braids are not hard, and they're still in style, and everybody's adding a braid of some sort to their hair. And I just did some nice soft curls with a big barrel iron. And, you know, if you get the right curling iron and it's got enough heat, you don't need to curl your hair more than once a day.
Oh, good
You know,
tip.
'cause some of these girls' hair are
Frying
breaking.
their hair, right?
Yes, and we don't
And
need to do that.
Real quickly, her makeup?
Her makeup, again, Zenobia is 18. We could went a little extra with it, but I decided to dial back, still keep it age appropriate and quick and easy. Even foundation, the foundation she's wearing is waterproof. It's from MAC. It's their Prolonged Wear Nourishing Formula. You can sweat through that and you'll still be good for the day. Get a little blush, very light on the eyes. Same paint pot I used for the other two ladies here. Lots of mascara, tons of mascara, and a little bit of shadow underneath the eyes, just to give her a little bit of smoke. Nude lip, gorgeous,
Gorgeous.
beautiful, glowy.
Everybody looks great. Thank you so much,
Always
Jeff
nice
and
to see
Mandy.
you.
And real quickly, your app. You guys have a lot of these looks on the app. If people
Absolutely.
just download it.
Download our app, Style Me Bar, or you can go to stylemebar.co, book an appointment. We come to your house, home, hotel room,
Office.
office.
Loft. That's
Yes.
why we always invite you
Exactly. We
here. Thank
love
you.
having- we
Right.
love
Hey,
being
and
here.
definitely check them out on Thursdays because they have a tip of the day Thursday, which you might enjoy as well. We're gonna have more. Don't forget our what's it called? What challenge are we doing? So gone. We are so gone. So gone challenge coming up next.
Oh, no.
Oh, Wiz is getting his moves ready.
Monaco was still
If we put these boots down, we might not be able to get them back up. So let's just do this. Looking hot in this heat is possible, and hot meaning it's hot. And you don't have to always splurge to do it. Fox 5 resident fashionista Tam Lee is right here to my left to show us when it's worth going designer and when you can go budget and, of course, still nail the look. What's up?
Absolutely.
How are
you know
you?
what? This is probably one of my favorite segments.
Good, me too.
Because I love designer shoes, but I don't like the cost. Right, so I'm always searching for inspired versions. So
Right.
this is like a designer heaven. I'm going to show you guys today when you need to buy the designer and when you can go for the
And
inspired
you know what I
version.
love about you is when you talk about like inspired, you are really talking about something most folks can afford. So we appreciate that.
Yeah,
I know you
absolutely.
style the stars, but all right. So we're starting over here?
Yeah, so let's go with our classic Louboutin. This is just a classic black pump, and of course you got to think about your lifestyle when you're making these choices. So if you're in the boardroom all the time, or if you're always corporate America, then you might want to splurge on something like that. Or you
This
can
is
go.
a serious splurge. What?
Yeah,
600 something?
675.
$675,
That's probably
okay.
yeah the cheapest Louboutin that they have. That's
Okay.
$675. But you can also go for the BG version.
Tam, let's be honest though. This though. Let's be
Exactly.
honest.
For all you
if you're gonna
ladies who want
splurge,
the
right?
red bottoms, you've got to just
Okay,
save
I just
up.
want to be
That's-
honest
that's
and
for
say
the
that.
splurge.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes
Okay.
you just want that red.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, so let's go to some of our more trendier pieces, which my rule is save on, your trendy pieces and splurge on your statement pieces, pieces that
Okay.
you're going to wear over and over again. So these were really trendy. These were the Oxford shoes. These are Chanel. You see these double C's. People love these double C's right here.
Honest.
Yeah.
I'm not loving this shoe, boo. How do you even wear this shoe? What is this shoe?
It's a cute little Oxford, but these are 1,100, right?
Okay.
And so you can go to Zara and you can get
I
the
like
$50
those.
version.
And it's not even that I'm going to save like $1,000. I think these are really cute every
These
now
are
and then.
softer? Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, so let's go to our YSL tribute shoe. This is YSL. They've made this for years. They have it in every color. Sometimes they do it in glitter for the holidays. Steve Madden makes the kind of exact same
Seen it,
version.
yes.
Yeah, they do it in all colors.
Right.
So we're talking $1,279.
$79?
Yeah.
Is that a sale price?
No,
Is
that's
that
just
regular?
the regular price. It's the regular price.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and so even if you guys, if you want to do handbags, not everybody can afford the Chanel Boy bag, which is up front here. This is like $5,000. Yeah, and so I picked up the Aldo inspired version, $50. Still has the chain, still has the same kind of look. But again, it's one of those things. If you really want a Chanel, then you just save up for those statement pieces.
Right.
So it just depends on your lifestyle. And
Okay.
so let's go to these.
Okay,
These
let's
are, I
do it.
just got these yesterday, actually. These are in Target. These were
Those are so
$34. Yeah, fall pieces are coming out, you guys. And then these are the Steve Madden version. They were $129. So you go, 29.
And here's thing, if you don't wear them all the time, because I can just already tell the difference. This is the first one. I'm like, okay, I like the way this is better.
One thing you have to realize is that when you're buying slave items, that you're investing in materials that are not built to last forever. So it's going to depend on if you're really going to wear this for a really long time, or it's just a wear 1 or 2 pieces.
Right.
Now, this is really a fun one.
Okay.
Givenchy. Okay, $300. The plastic jelly.
That's right. They're jellies. Okay.
These jellies, they're $300.
Okay.
Version, $10.
I really love them.
$10. So
That's the sale price, so get it now.
Yeah, those are sale. I caught those yesterday. So that's, it depends on if you really want the designer version.
Okay.
These are really cute. Steve Madden kind of on too. I in Target, $27. These were $89.
So let me ask a silly question. So clearly, the Costco, Lord, the Target designers look, and they are inspired by these designer looks, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
This one's my favorite, though.
You love those?
Because I really do love
really
this
hot, you
slide.
guys. Slides really hot. Every designer is making slides, and so that's a classic Chanel slide. I love that.
I do too.
Yeah, but that's $100.
Let me put it back. Okay.
$700, or do you want to get the hot? Those are the Rihanna.
Well, I like these.
The Puma, Fenty slides. Those are really hard to find right now. But they're $79, and when I tell you they're really comfortable, they're really comfortable.
Tamara, are these your very own?
Yes,
I knew they were, because I was trying to buy them from you. Okay.
I wore those in
all right.
today, and
Where does she
put those back on?
Where does she sell her things? Is it online?
She sells them Puma.com, or you can get them at Nordstrom. She sells them in a lot of places, but they're really sold out.
Okay.
They really are.
So you, speaking of A-listers.
Yes. Okay. Kim Kardashian, you guys, for you guys that follow her, she's been wearing the Yeezy Season 2 boots. They have the toe out and the heel out. They're $1,100. Steve Madden made a version for $129, I believe, or so. So,
Who's gonna know?
No.
Who's gonna know?
Absolutely, because $1,100. So
Yeah.
it's what is your bank
kids to
account say?
feed. Exactly.
Exactly.
All right.
So you can even do this even with the sunglasses. Now, this is one of my favorites because I don't like buying designer sunglasses because I'm afraid that I'm going to lose them at the pool or something. So now these are actually real products. The swirl, everybody knows this.
Yeah, everybody knows it. Right.
Look. And then you have your little cheap version, $20. So, you can always do that. But a lot of the designers, they get upset with these.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Versions.
The inspired. All right, Tam, we got to leave it there, but you can check Tam out on her social media.
You can check me out on Instagram at Boutique Hush and shop online at lovehushboutique.com. And just follow me so you can stay in the know.
That's right. Thanks, Tam.
Absolutely.
Okay, over to you guys on the desk.
Since one of those real handbags and shoes is as much as my car is worth, I'm fine being inspired.
Right.
Exactly.
Inspiration galore. Bring that on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You right now.
All right, come on over. All right, let's talk parents now. Parenting. This segment is for you. When it comes to feeding your kids, it can be a tricky task, especially if you have very picky eaters on your hands. Actress Kristen Cavallari recently came under fire for this photo that she posted on her children's Instagram, of her children on Instagram. Critics say her sons are too thin. Some even claim they look malnourished. Cavallari defended herself, saying that her children are well fed. And it's not just parents who are taking heat on this. An Italian couple had their child taken away after they fed him a vegan diet and he was found to be underweight. So here's a question for you, parents. What do you need to know about these healthy diets for kids? Joining us now, Shilpi. She's here. She's a board certified in family medicine, and we're talking about this morning. So we know how kids can be picky eaters.
Very picky.
But is this a little extreme when you're talking about trying to be too healthy with your kids?
So what happened in Italy is actually pretty scary. These parents were feeding their kid a vegan diet, and it was a 14-month-old, and it ended up being that the child weighed as much as a 3-month-old. Wow. So he was severely malnourished. The main things that he was eating was just soy milk and applesauce. And so the baby was taken to the hospital. And what's really scary is that his calcium levels were so low that it affected the way that his heart was beating. So the cells in the body, not just for bones, that's what we hear, the main things for calcium, but the heart requires calcium to actually pump and to function. So the question is, are these kind of diets really safe? Well, they can be, but to be 100% honest with you, it's very tough to put a child on a diet and have them be adequately nourished. All kids that are on a vegan diet should be getting supplementation, and that's with things like calcium, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and iron. So you need to be working very closely with your pediatrician to make sure your child doesn't fall off that curve.
Wow.
Hi, Dr. Shelby.
Morning, Allison.
Hello, Wisdom.
Hello, Allison.
How do you make sure, because I feel like that's an extreme case. We don't hear about that very often.
Right.
We do hear, though, about when a child is perhaps overweight and you trying to find that balance with not making them feel like you can't have this. Maybe your brother or your sister is okay. They can have it. There's a very fine line because you know mentally you might also be damaging a child if you give the message that you look too thin or you look too heavy.
Either extreme of the growth curve, and in general in society, we see is hard for kids, and they are growing. So it's really important to remember a couple of things. Toddlers are constantly growing. They're very picky eaters. So they'll be grazing throughout the day. A good option to give them snacks is to just use something like a small ice cube tray we have. You can put a little bit of snacks in there, and then they're going about their way. In the overweight or sort of children who are above the growth curve, those are kids where you really want to encourage them to be active, because remember, these are growth years. So if you restrict their calories too much, that can also be damaging to them. So if you don't give them enough fat, they can start to have problems with thinking, their energy. So you don't want to restrict all of those things either.
All right. So so here's what goes on in my house. I restrict the junk food. They have to be active.
Okay,
Very
that's
active.
good.
Restrict the junk food. But otherwise, you eat whatever, you know, you can eat anything. There's nothing that's off limits. But the junk food, no sodas. That's a rare treat if you get a soda.
No, that's great. That's
So-
great. Eating whatever you want, and also remember, eating what the parents are eating is very important, because when they're growing, that's when they're developing their palate. So in the children that need, you know, the 700 milligrams of calcium as a toddler, you need to be giving them milk and things like that, because that's what they're getting their calories from. They're getting tastes from that. Things with dairy, you can restrict that later on in life as an adult. The real recommendation is to give them an adequate amount of calcium to grow and to kind of learn the palate and learn their foods that they can eat.
It's so true what you said, because when I go to the grocery store, sometimes I'll be in like the cookie aisle and, oh, what about just a little treat? Or the pantry, but it is really true. You set the example by what you eat. So in order to have some healthy snacks in there. So you said, because let's talk about kids when they get to be a little bit older. Now they're in school, elementary school. What's a good way to snack? What should they be getting in their diet?
Your best way to help kids that are growing, but they're, you know, in their teens or maybe coming back from elementary school, they're very hungry, is to give them a balanced meal. So give them protein, give them some carbohydrates that are low carbs. To give them those sugar things, except for special occasions we see on the weekends. You want to give them things, you know, fortified cereals. You can give them whole grains, beans with hummus, tortillas with hummus, and maybe some lean meats. Avocado is a great option. Get full off of eating for dinner, because then they spoil their appetite.
Do get hungry then, don't they?
And I think keeping soda out of is a really great option, and very important to stress, because the earlier that their brains get that sweet taste, they can't differentiate. They don't like water once they've had it. So it's very important to keep the soda away.
Yeah, keep the soda. I only drink soda. I mean, I'm the one paying the bill, right?
Yeah.
We had to go, Dr. Shelby.
We had to go there.
We had to go there.
All
Thank
right.
I think it's also important as parents to remember that, I mean, everyone's really just trying to do the best that they can.
Right.
So
Right.
like
No
Kristen
shaming.
Cavallari came under fire, and
Right.
I think it's really hard on her because she's a celebrity posting pictures of her kids. We don't see them day to day.
Right.
You cannot tell whether a child is malnourished or not unless you're seeing your pediatrician and knowing them.
Right.
And remember, when you are a parent going to the doctor's office, ask to see your child's growth charts. The growth
That's what
charts.
these are
Those
right
are
here?
these two charts. The pediatrician should be going over these with your height and weight. And you want to see your child continuously going across that and not falling off. In her case, she got so much heat for having these children too skinny. And we don't know those kids. And,
Right.
and I think that she's probably working with her doctor to make sure that they're healthy.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. No shaming out there. Okay,
at
let's head on over to Tucker Barnes in studio. Hey,